do you have?
Oh, absolutely.
So anyway, the information I had.
Wait. Did you tell him telepathically?
No, I told him to like you and I. I mean, we're sitting here.
You talked out loud?
We're talking out loud. I mean, we're talking about how.
Are you talking about the ones that are walking around that look like humans that you talk to?
Yeah, these are humans, yeah.
Okay.
But not Pleiadians, above the Pleiadians.
Really?
Yeah, and it goes higher than that.
Oh, I'm sure they do. So what were those? Do you know they're like, do they
No,
tell you
we didn't go into that. In fact, it was a very, rather than having people identify, like with Billy saying there's the Pleiadians, or like when I was in Spain with the Umos, or in South America, all the, there's a lot of different groups.
Right.
They claim that. None of them, they all have different objectives. They were in contact with me, and they said things to me, in my head.
Really?
Well, when I had some answers that it just came out of nowhere. You know how that is. It's just during a communication. Because I'm constantly being aware of them.
Right now?
Well, I know they're around. Sure, they watch me all the time.
Sure. But are you able to discern when it is you, or when it is some inspiration or something you're getting?
Yeah. When they want to get a hold of me.
Uh-huh.
I mean, they really seriously want to get a hold of me.
Right.
In my house, the phone will ring, but it doesn't.
The real phone, or just a phone?
It sounds just like a phone.
Audible.
It's an audible phone. It's time, okay, and then it's time for me to meditate and get off of, and just wait for whatever there is. Now, can they get to me physically at that point? Yeah, they can do that too. But they try to keep me into this balance. They said, no use talking about that other side, like coming aboard craft. I mean, I remember inside some of those things, but they don't want me to do that. They want me to keep me right here. And they won't tell me about who I am on the other side either.
No?
No, they said if they did, I'd probably wake up and I wouldn't accept the job anymore. It's a joke, seriously. But I got that from about 3 other people, too.
You wouldn't accept the job anymore?
I would, no, I'd leave.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Now, do you have any past life recall? Have they given you that?
No, they won't let me do that either. That's part of the game. Because
really?
Who I was before.
Okay.
And I live with a world-famous clairvoyant.
Oh, you do?
Who remembers all 6,000 years she's been here.
Okay, that's beautiful.
I was going to invite her over, but we were out partying last night, and she said, I'm just going to sit back. But
okay, so
there is no, between the death experience, it just goes on. It's one continuous thing.
Well, absolutely, I agree with that. And I have some past life recall, as does Bill, but certainly not 6,000.
She remembers back in Atlantis and Lemuria and all those times, and the real story behind. She can tell you what happened, who was leading, and
great. That's fabulous. Well, Bob Dean's wife is the same way, Marcia Schaefer. I don't know if you know who she is. No. Anyway, so did she tell you? Is she allowed to?
No, she's been instructed also.
Oh, really?
Me, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, we have this thing. I said, look, and because she does readings for people all over the world, and I don't know what she says to anybody, but we have this understanding, and she knows what my job is, and so she supports it.
Okay.
I mean, it's tough to live with clairvoyance, and tough to live with people with me.
I bet.
It's a bad game.
Well, it depends. It depends how you view it. I mean, from day to day, it's sometimes.
Well, she said she wouldn't have my job. She says the guys upstairs shouldn't have given it to you. We want to have some fun. We don't.
I know. Well, this is the problem. Yeah. So it's a preoccupation every hour of every day.
Well, I'm 100% committed, because how many people get committed and they either you are given the job and then you choose to go away. And this dimension is so screwed up. I can understand that. I mean, even, the message to Garcia that's in our book. You give somebody the job to do it. How many of them really will deliver the message?
Right.
It's like trying to wake people up.
Yeah.
I lectured all kinds of people. A lot of people, I get tons of letters of people that wake up finally. But then they recognize the job, but they want to go back to sleep. I mean, the programming is so incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, I can understand that. Well, we understand this because we're also on a mission. So, to get back to this, so you have this exposure, and you basically knew you were taking on a job at some point, right?
Yeah.
Can you tell me when that was?
when exactly the time was probably when the ETs contacted me again when I was in Vegas, so that would be like 12 years ago. And 12 years ago, I was asked to build an enemy prisoner of war camp in downtown Las Vegas, just off of downtown Las Vegas. And I'm sitting there, who's the enemy, and what's this all about? And then I shared that with my friend Ted Gunderson, who's the former head of the FBI, for Southern California. And then he came back, he said, they're building them all over the United States. So that, he said, wait a minute, this time is getting too short. Well, the Global 2000 agenda is behind schedule, because they were supposed to get the war started in the year 2000 in the Middle East. So, I'm like everybody else. Well, they didn't, the dates, again, we're talking about dates.
Right.
They didn't get it done yet. But they still want to have, the fait accompli was to have it on the year 2012. Now, everybody knows that comes into sequence, because that's when the Planet X or Marduk or whatever you want to call it is going to come back around, which is going to affect a lot of the physical changes on the planet also. And maybe the return of, one of the people.
The Anunnaki.
Sure. The whole game could come in at that point.
Okay, now are you being told this?
Yeah, I've been given this information at that same game. But the information I have, we want to wake up enough people so there'll be somebody here at that time. But the way things are happening right now is that there's too few of people waking up to make any significant difference. So the last message is what I brought with me. I don't know if you have them or not. From the ETs is to get together with other people of like minds to support each other in the days ahead, because you don't know what chaos is. It's escalating so fast that we're running out of time. So that's the reason why I'm grabbing planes and heading off to other parts of the world to find out where no place is going to be safe. I do know the agendas that they have and some of their.
I'd love to ask you, George, if I could, just a question of my own there. How does that make you feel, the idea that you may be behind schedule with your mission to help wake people up? Do you feel depressed? Do you feel anxious? Do you just get on with the job like a soldier? When you wake up in the morning, do you feel optimistic, pessimistic, concerned, energized?
Well, I got a message the other day. I'm going to be lecturing to a big group this next week in Las Vegas. And just to share with the same thing is to ask you the question, when you come out, I'm going to ask the audience, and it says, how are you today, right? You're good, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. The next question is, why are you today? Because there may not be a tomorrow. And if you're asking me, somewhere within the game that I have right at this minute, we're running out of time. I'm running out of my sequence of getting information out. I have people all around the planet, even in Nepal and Russia and everything else, forming small groups. But again, from the ETs who are monitoring the entire planet right now, there's too few of them. And I get that same reaction back from people who were 100% committed, because they're so frustrated. They say they're ready to go back to sleep. I can't do that. I wake up in the morning. I'm generally very optimistic on it. I'm optimistic because I'm here today. Right?
Right.
When I wake up and if I'm not here today, then that's the next question that you look at. And how much time, whatever that means, do we have to go? I don't know, because it doesn't appear that we have very much time before this chaos. Now, my background is heavy into, besides engineering, is money. And the whole money system is going to collapse on the planet. I mean, I walk around. I mean, you look at me. I can go anywhere on the planet right now. I got $5,000 in my pocket. Right now.
5 gold coins.
5 gold coins. And that, I just sit down there and look and say, well, wait a minute. What am I can do? I can go anywhere in the world with these little pieces right here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's silver.
And they don't stop you in an airport. You don't have to declare it. I mean, I think that's why. We invested in silver because you told us to back in January, and it's been going up ever since.
Well, I've got a lot of people, and it's going to go on up, because when you're based down to look at the history of the planet, even down in Mexico, it's always a silver coin. Look at the antiquities, and the guy's going out digging up the treasures in the ocean. What is it? It's right here. You're looking at it. This is gold and silver.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This doesn't say, this is an American eagle. this doesn't say Federal Reserve note on it. And that's what
I promise to say.
No, it's it right here. It says it's right down.